Have you ever wondered why some people seem to attract success like a magnet, while others work hard their entire lives and still struggle financially? What if the real difference has nothing to do with luck, talent, or even education? What if the biggest secret to becoming rich starts inside your mind? In 1937, during the middle of the Great Depression, a man named Napoleon Hill published a book that would go on to change millions of lives forever. That book was Think and Grow Rich. And here's the crazy part. Hill claimed he spent more than 20 years studying the habits of the world's most successful people, including legends like Andrew Carnegie, Henry Ford, and Thomas Edison, to discover one powerful formula for success. This book is not just about money. It's about how thoughts become reality. And by the end of this video, you'll understand why this book is still considered one of the most powerful success guides ever written. So sit back, because what you're about to hear might completely change the way you think about success, wealth, and your own potential. The story begins with a young journalist named Napoleon Hill. One day, he got the opportunity to interview Andrew Carnegie, one of the richest men in the world at that time. Carnegie believed that success wasn't random. He believed wealthy and successful people followed certain principles that anyone could learn.
So Carnegie challenged Hill to spend decades studying successful people and uncovering the exact mindset behind achievement. And that mission became Think and Grow Rich. Now, think about this for a second. Most people spend years learning how to work, but almost nobody learns how to think. And this is exactly where the book becomes incredibly powerful. The core philosophy of Think and Grow Rich is simple but life-changing. Your thoughts shape your reality. If you constantly think about fear, failure, and limitations, your actions will follow. But if you train your mind to focus on purpose, belief, and opportunity, your life begins moving in that direction too. Hill believed that success always begins with a burning desire, not a weak wish, not "it would be nice," a burning obsession. He tells the famous story of a man named Edwin Barnes, who dreamed of working with Thomas Edison. Barnes was broke. He had no money, no connections, and no clear plan. But he had one thing most people don't have: absolute certainty. He didn't say, "I'll try." He said, "I will." And eventually, through persistence and belief, he became Edison's business partner. Most people hear stories like this and think it's just motivation.
But Hill's point is deeper. Your mind starts finding opportunities when your desire becomes strong enough. This is where most people get it wrong. They want success casually, but successful people become emotionally committed to their vision. Hill says every achievement begins with a definite purpose. If you don't know exactly what you want, your energy becomes scattered. Imagine getting into a car without knowing the destination. You might drive all day and go nowhere. That's how many people live their lives. Busy, but directionless. Hill advises readers to write down a specific goal, the exact amount of money or success they want, and read it every single day with emotion and belief. At first, this sounds strange, but psychologically, it makes sense. Whatever you repeatedly focus on begins shaping your behavior, your confidence, and your decisions. Your brain starts filtering reality differently. You notice opportunities you ignored before. You take action you were previously too afraid to take. And slowly, your identity changes. Then the book moves into one of its most important ideas: faith. Not necessarily religious faith, but faith in yourself.
Hill believed that the mind cannot achieve what it secretly doubts. And honestly, think about how many people destroy their own potential before they even begin. They say things like, "I'm not smart enough. I'm too old. I don't have connections. What if I fail?" And because they believe those thoughts, they act accordingly. Hill explains that repetition creates belief. The thoughts you repeat become your reality. That's why he talks about autosuggestion, the practice of feeding your mind positive, empowering thoughts consistently. Now, this doesn't mean sitting on your couch and magically becoming rich. That's not the message. The real message is this: your external life reflects your internal mindset. People who believe they can grow take more risks, recover faster from failure, and stay persistent longer than everyone else. And persistence is another major lesson in the book. Most people quit too early. They fail once and stop. They hear no a few times and give up. But Hill noticed something fascinating about successful people. They keep going long after others quit. He shares the story of a man who stopped digging for gold just 3 feet away from a massive gold deposit. Another person bought the land, kept digging carefully, and became rich.
That story represents life perfectly. Sometimes success is incredibly close, but people surrender before they reach it. Most people never realize this until it's too late. The difference between winners and losers is often not intelligence, it's endurance. It's the ability to continue when things get uncomfortable. And honestly, this lesson might be more relevant today than ever before. We live in a world addicted to quick results. People want instant money, instant followers, instant success. But Think and Grow Rich teaches something timeless. Real success is built slowly through disciplined thinking and repeated action. Then Hill introduces another powerful concept called the mastermind. This idea changed how many entrepreneurs think about relationships and teamwork. Hill believed no one becomes successful completely alone. When smart, ambitious people work together toward a common goal, their combined energy creates something greater than individual effort. Think about companies like Apple, Microsoft, or even successful YouTube creators today. Behind every successful person is usually a network of support, collaboration, and shared ideas. This is why the people around you matter so much. Your environment influences your thinking more than you realize. If you surround yourself with negativity, excuses, and small thinking, eventually it affects your mindset too. But when you spend time around driven, disciplined, optimistic people, your standards rise automatically. And this leads to one of the deepest ideas in the entire book. Your subconscious mind is always listening. The thoughts, emotions, and beliefs you feed it daily eventually shape your behavior. That's why fear becomes such a dangerous force. Hill identifies several major fears that stop people from succeeding. Fear of poverty, fear of criticism, fear of failure, fear of rejection. And honestly, most people are controlled by these fears without even realizing it. How many dreams die because someone was afraid of being judged? How many businesses never start because someone feared losing money? How many talented people stay invisible because they doubt themselves? Fear quietly destroys potential. But Hill argues that courage is not the absence of fear. It's acting despite fear. And this is where the book becomes incredibly empowering, because it reminds readers that success is not reserved for a special group of people. It belongs to those who master their mindset. Another fascinating idea Hill discusses is decision-making. Successful people make decisions quickly and change them slowly. Unsuccessful people do the opposite. They hesitate constantly. They overthink everything. They seek endless approval from others. And because of that, opportunities disappear. Think about this for a second. How many times have you delayed something important because you were waiting for the perfect moment? The perfect moment rarely comes. Successful people act before they feel fully ready. Now, one of the most controversial ideas in the book is something Hill calls the mystery of sex transmutation. What he basically means is that powerful human energy, especially passion and desire, can be redirected into creativity, ambition, and achievement. Many highly successful people channel intense emotional energy into their work, vision, and purpose. Whether you fully agree with this concept or not, the larger message is still powerful. Energy without direction becomes distraction. Energy focused toward purpose becomes achievement. As the book continues, Hill repeatedly emphasizes the importance of controlling your thoughts, because negative thinking becomes self-fulfilling.
If you constantly expect failure, rejection, and disappointment, you begin behaving in ways that create those outcomes. But optimism, vision, and belief create momentum. And no, positive thinking alone won't make you rich, but positive thinking combined with disciplined action absolutely changes how you perform in life. That's the real message. Now let's talk about one of the most powerful transformations this book can create. It changes how you see obstacles. Most people see failure as proof they should stop. Hill says failure is often feedback. Temporary defeat is not permanent failure. Some of the most successful people in history failed repeatedly before winning.
Thomas Edison failed thousands of times before creating the light bulb. Henry Ford faced multiple business failures before building an empire. And what separated them from everyone else wasn't luck. It was persistence, fueled by belief. That idea alone has changed millions of lives. Now, here are some of the most unforgettable ideas from Think and Grow Rich. Whatever the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. This idea is powerful because it reminds people that possibilities expand when belief expands. Another incredible idea is strength and growth come only through continuous effort and struggle. In other words, challenges are not interruptions to growth. They are growth. And perhaps the most important lesson of all, every adversity carries with it the seed of an equal or greater benefit. That means painful moments often contain hidden opportunities if you choose to learn from them instead of surrendering to them. And honestly, this mindset can completely transform the way someone experiences life. Because suddenly, failure no longer feels final. It becomes part of the process. By the end of Think and Grow Rich, you realize this book is not really about getting rich overnight. It's about becoming the kind of person capable of creating success. A person with clarity, discipline, confidence, persistence, and emotional control. Hill believed wealth starts in the mind long before it appears in the bank account. Your thoughts influence your actions. Your actions shape your habits. Your habits create your future. So if there's one thing to take away from this book, it's this. Your life changes the moment you stop treating your dreams like fantasies and start treating them like responsibilities. Because success is rarely accidental. It's usually the result of focused thinking, relentless persistence, and the refusal to quit when life gets difficult. And maybe the most important question this book asks is this. What would happen if you truly believed you were capable of more? Because that belief alone might become the starting point of an entirely new life. If you enjoyed this summary, make sure to subscribe and let me know in the comments which lesson from Think and Grow Rich impacted you the most. And remember, the mind is powerful, but only if you learn how to use it.